WCBS-FM.
You sold over 200 million records. Please welcome Nile Rodgers to the broadcast.
How do you do that? 200 million
I had a few hit records. I thought you were going to play Get Lucky and all that other stuff, but okay.
I can't get all.
You can't get it all in.
We had to get you on the air.
Oh, there you go. Good one. I love it.
It's a professional operation here, Nile. This isn't some Poughkeepsie station. I'll tell you that right now.
Think it and it shall be so.
You know, one of the problems of getting ready for you is you have done too much.
Too much.
I don't even know where to start here.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because I'm a voracious rock and roll music fan, and I read books, and I buy CDs, and I actually read the books. And I read your book, and I had no idea that you had started so long ago. You paid your dues, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I started with Sesame Street, believe it or not. I went from Sesame Street to the Apollo Theater, which I actually just played their gala a few days ago. I started on stage with Screaming Jay Hawkins, and I didn't know what his routine was, right?
Oh, boy. You didn't know about the coffin?
Oh, dude, let me tell you something. I was this young kid, Mr. Hippie with the wacky hair.
Right.
And I was too cool for Screaming Jay Hawkins. So they told me at the Apollo, they says, "Oh, you're such a great musician. You can read right through the charts. You don't even need to make rehearsals." So I didn't know. You guys, you can figure out what's going to happen.
You had no
way, right? So I didn't have a clue, right? They totally set me up.
Yeah.
So I get on stage. The conductor puts his hand down, so we get ready. We go into. I put a spell on you, so it's in 6/8. He goes, bum bum bum, start, right,
right.
And as soon as that happens, the coffin opens up. Screaming Jay jumps out, and he's dressed up like Baron Samedi, like a skeleton, and he's got a rattle. And I flip out. And meanwhile, I'm this young kung fu expert. I run off the stage.
Don't you screw with me now.
Right, I run off the stage. They're blocking the stage, so they're blocking stage left, and I run the stage right, and they're blocking that too. The next thing I know, everybody in the audience, and you know how tough the Apollo is. Yeah. Everybody was laughing. The band was laughing, and I went, okay.
I've been
welcome to show business, Mr. Little Smart Jazz, hip guitar player.
Now, is that on film anywhere so that you can relive it?
No.
You just relive it in your mind.
No. I told the story the other day, and obviously Scott read about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, these days, everything is on film.
Everything. That would have been hysterical.
Oh,
that would have been, millions of hits.
That would have been on YouTube by the time you got done playing.
Especially, and at that time, I was actually a very good kung fu student. My Sifu would have been laughing his head off. He said, so Nile, why didn't you try Northern Praying Mantis style? Or you decided to
there you go on top of it.
You decided to do the cheetah style and run.
The guy he was opening out, the guy he was playing for, is that's certifiably crazy, and he actually starts the act in a coffin.
Yeah. But I didn't, you know what happened, Scott, is that I didn't see the coffin because I'm looking at the conductor. This is my first show at the Apollo, and I knew that the audience was tough. So the last thing I wanted to do was make a mistake. So I'm only looking at the conductor, waiting for the start, because my little part, as simple as it was, if you know, I put a spell on you that bum, 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 doom, 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 bum, bum. That's important. If I didn't come in with that, I get fired right on the spot. They go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, dun, dun, dun.
And that's when you did the cheetah.
You were a baby, too.
And that's when you did the cheetah.
Yes, this is my new style I've developed. It's called the cheetah style.
It's called "Get Me the Hell Out of Here" style. It's funny too because I don't think anyone else in the room has any idea who you're talking about.
Right. Unfortunately, sorry about that.
But this guy really didn't even sing. He just kind of yelled.
Yeah.
That's why he was screaming.
He sort of, right. Good one. I never thought of it that. I never put two and two together.
Now, what was his second song he did?
Oh, I have no idea. I was so afraid at that point. I was just like, I was just reading the charts. And in those days, the Apollo Theater was a review type of situation. So there was one act after the next, and that's, while I was in the house band. So it was like, Screaming Jay. Then I think it was Betty Wright. She had the song Clean Up Woman. She came on after that.
She's a little easier to deal with. She doesn't use a coffin.
Oh, yeah, no. Betty was great. She's fabulous. So she was cool. We're like lifelong friends. We hit each other on Twitter all the time. And then I think it was an artist, Maxine Brown, came after that. And then I did Nancy. I mean, I've run the gamut. Aretha Franklin, the whole bit. Parliament Funkadelic.
There's a lot of people who are very successful in the music business, but they usually stay in one kind of pocket or genre, and you don't know boundaries. You work with anybody who is musical.
I thought you were going to say you work with anybody who'll pay you.
Well, you said it. I didn't.
No, but that's, let me explain to you. So where we are right now, people may not know where this building, this studio is located, but this is right where I was born. Stuyvesant High School is right down the street now. Sure. It used to be over on the east side at Stuyvesant Town, probably hence the name Stuyvesant High School. But this is my neighborhood. I'm a Greenwich Village kid. I grew up with parents who listened to modern jazz. You read my book, so you know that.
I know that
people
stuff.
Like Thelonious Monk and and Miles and Nina Simone and people like that would come to my apartment. So I grew up listening to jazz and classical, but mainly jazz. So I've always had an open mind when it came to music because kids made fun of me. At 6 years old, I'm walking around the classroom. They're singing Purple People Eater or whatever, and I'm in the classroom going, "Have you got a penny, Benny? I want to telephone Jenny, and I just got 9 cents to my name." So all my life, and right now, I wonder if it probably doesn't cost 10 cents to make a phone call. But anyway, so that would be an irrelevant song now. But anyway, all my life, I've just loved music for the sake of music and creating. And it's funny, now that I have hit records with, guys like Avicii and Pharrell and Daft Punk and stuff. Well, Pharrell and Daft Punk are a little older, but Avicii's like 25 years old. When people make fun of me and they go like, yeah, man, how can a guy like you work with a guy like that? And I go, how old do you think I was when I wrote Upside Down? How old do you think I was when I wrote We Are a Family? How old do you think I was when I wrote the biggest song of my life? Oh, I freak out. I was Avicii's age. So come on, guys. We're musicians and we learn from each other.
I've been there and I've done that, right?
Yeah, it's like I love doing new music. I have so many new records coming out in the next few months. It's ridiculous.
I love that. I love that you have that open, because it's true. I mean, that's the beauty of music is coming from all different spaces and hearing something really beautiful, whether it's classical or jazz or brand new.
The one thing I've noticed is that people don't realize how much they love it because, it's sort of like the top 40 format has sort of dissipated a bit. And what happens is that because, my band is called Chic, no one knows what we do. But when you just played that intro, like that's what my show is. You just played my show.
We're talking to Nile Rodgers, and I got to take a break now, but I got a ton of stuff we got to talk about. But I'm still sitting here. I'm kind of surprised. As a first reference to Purple People Eater on this radio station for about 30 years.
Yeah, right. Purple People Eater.
And this guy runs a gauntlet. There's no doubt about that. Have you finished the Duran Duran album, or are you still working on it?
Yes, it's done. It's finished, done, and it's great, and I'm very proud. And speaking of my band Chic, we just, this week, we're #1 on the Billboard dance charts.
Very cool.
After 23 years.
Wow. That's awesome.
Red hot.
You're not supposed to do that. Leave some room for some kids. By the way, didn't Mark Ronson work with you, too, on the Duran Duran
Yes,
album?
he did. Mark, I've known since he was 5 years old. Because his stepfather was Mick Jones from Foreigner, and we were I'd like to say this with no ego, that Chic and Foreigner, when we were there at that time, we were the 2 best-selling acts on the label.
Wow. There's no doubt about it. Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
I think they have a big plaque to you over there.
Yeah.
A little.
A big plaque. now, you're doing a music festival.
Yes.
That is absolutely incredible. It's called the Fold Festival. Tell me about this.
Which stands for Freak Out, Let's Dance. All right. And that's and in this particular case, I think of that in terms of a command as opposed to a suggestion.
Right.
So what I've noticed over the years, so my partner died 19 years ago. And then I started touring again as Chic, only because a promoter in Japan asked me to do so. I had never thought about it because I had a perfectly fine life just making records and stuff. And what we wound up noticing is that every time they booked us, it didn't make any difference what band they booked us with, be it Paul McCartney or Paul Simon or the Rolling Stones or whatever, the people responded to our music. And I realized that there's the easy way to market music, and then there was the tough Chic way, which is put us on stage and let us show you what we do. After doing this for some 18, 19 years, I've become friends with all of these amazing acts that I've produced or worked with or done live shows with. And I said, you know what? I want to show people how they don't realize that they love these other people's songs. Because in today's world, unfortunately, we're so busy, we just don't know what the song is. But you hear it and go, oh my God, you did that. And the weirdest thing in my life is when someone says to me, that's my favorite song ever. And I'm sitting next to them and I go, oh, that's like the 3rd song I ever wrote. And they go, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Who the hell are you anyway?
I said, well, no,
and what are you doing here?
No, but I'm not that kind of guy. I just, composers are fairly anonymous, so I'm just sitting there, whatever, on a bus or an airplane. And the other day I was with some woman and she was sat next to me and she says, oh, I don't know if you've heard of these girls, but my 2 daughters are flying down to Miami Beach to work with them. And I laughed and I said, what's their name? She says, Nervo. I said, your daughters are flying from Europe to see Nervo? She said, down in Miami Beach? She said, yeah. Wow. I says, by the way, I just wrote a new song for Kylie Minogue with Nervo and another one for Keith Urban with Nervo. What do you think about that?
Wow.
She was like, are you kidding me? I said, no, I love them. And we just had dinner in New York 2 weeks ago.
When was the last time you were on that bus talking to somebody?
On that bus? Which bus?
Any bus.
Oh, come on. I work all the time. I'm on buses and trains and planes and automobiles all the time.
All right.
So anyway,
this festival's amazing.
So getting back to the festival.
Yeah.
So think about this. I hope I don't forget anybody, but our lineup is Beck, Pharrell. Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, I love you guys. You're professional. Beck, Pharrell Williams, Keith Urban, Chuck D, Eric B., Thomas Gold, Paloma Faith, the Martinez Brothers, and of course, Chic featuring Nile Rodgers. Then the next day, we have Duran Duran, Chaka Khan, Janelle Monáe, Grandmaster Melly Mel, Q-Tip, Slander, GTA, Snow Allegra, and of course, Chic featuring Nile Rodgers. Since I'm the host, I figure I got to be there both days, and and I sort of donate my services, so I get
a hell of a lineup. Wow,
it's unbelievable. Yeah. And when you hear the preponderance of hit records that come from this crew. I mean, people forget. Like, they think to themselves, I don't like Public Enemy and this and that. And all of a sudden you hear the song, go, oh, God, I remember where I was. Or you hear Eric B. and you go, oh, my God, Paid in Full, I remember. So...
You're exactly right. And if you say Chic to somebody, a lot of folks go, what is that?
Oh, no one knows.
And then you play that sound, and all of a sudden they go, wait a minute. They freak out on you, man.
It's funny, Scott, you bring it up. I said, as a composer, one of the greatest feelings in my life is that there's no place on this planet that I can go honestly, where I could just stand on the stage and go, 1, 2, and the crowd's gonna go, freak out. Well, let me tell you something. last year I was in China, and
not there.
No, check this out. So everybody knew our songs, but a very common Chinese affectation is to use the word ah like we use the word You know, we're talking and we go So I went 1, 2, ah, and the crowd went 1, 2, ah. And we couldn't even play the song. We started laughing hysterically. I said, it's the only place in the world no one would go freak out right after I did that.
You know, Nile, I got to tell you this. I've said this before on the radio, but when I was a kid, and I remember the time when I discovered music, and it was such a big part of my life. It was like a whole nother world opened up to me, and unfortunately I wasn't able to become a musician, but I expressed myself, you know, on the radio. And you are a great grandmaster of the business, and you spread the joy. I mean, it's obvious that you love what you do, and you love all types of music.
Oh, it's true. I mean, you know, like I said, when you come to Fold Fest, not only are our tickets unbelievably reasonably priced, but because this is sort of like the second time we've done it, even though we took a year off, it is the easiest show to get to. As soon as as soon as the highway ends, you just take a left and a right. You're you're 3 blocks away from our show. And it's funny, we did our mobilization plan to get the cars parked. And by the way, when you buy our ticket, your parking is free.
Oh, wow.
And we decided to do this because, one, we wanted to keep the prices down, but also because the city loves us, because there's no traffic flow. Right. All you do is show your ticket and they just park you.
Yeah,
you just go right in. It's like
it's so simple. It's hard to believe.
It's funny. It's like you get this insane lineup. And then the other day I was just thinking about this. You know, between Beck and Pharrell Williams and myself, you have the 2 consecutive Album of the Year Grammy Award winners, right?
Yeah,
back to back.
Deal,
Beck won this year, and Pharrell and I and Daft Punk won last year.
Do you have a website set up so people can get information?
Absolutely. We made it really easy. You just go to foldfestival.com. You can go to djmag.com. You can and if you're on Twitter or something like that, or Instagram or whatever, Facebook, you can just go at Fold Fest. If you just remember Fold or Freak Out Festival or any of that stuff, which we're not that old, we can remember stupid stuff like Fold, or just think of Freak Out Festival. You will find us.
It's August 4th and 5th.
August 5th.
Let folks know, Wes.
August 5th in Riverhead, New York, and it's smoking and it's easy. We have the best food, the best catering, the best bands, and you're going to see collaborations like you've never seen. You'll see us all doing stuff together as well as separate big sets.
That's pretty cool.
Bang for the buck, man.
He is Nile Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen.
Wonderful.
And he's the one when you go. Do it again. Count it down one more time.
1, 2,
Freak out!
Thank you, man. Come by anytime.
Thank you.